in Sheffield, and another packed house right here this afternoon in the Crucible. It is box office every step of the way here on day 4 of the Betfred.com World Snooker Championship. Please welcome, first of all, a player making his 13th appearance here at the Crucible. 6 times he's made it into the second round. A 2-time ranking event finalist, he beat Mike Dunn to book his place here this time. The pride of Essex, Mark the Royal King. And his opponent, also making his 13th appearance here in Sheffield. He's been in 3 of the last 7 finals, becoming champion of the world in 2006. He's a China Open winner, and he went as far as the semis of the German Masters this season. He's the pocket dynamo, he's Graham Dock. And here on table number 2, please welcome a big character with a wardrobe to match. He made the quarterfinals here 11 years ago. Winner of the Grand Prix and the Shanghai Masters. They're calling him the Welsh Lion of Vienna, Dominic Dale. And finally, the most naturally gifted player ever to grace the modern game. Winner of 22 ranking event titles. 8 times a semi-finalist here, 3 times a champion of the world. Blink and you'll miss him. Here comes the Rocket, Ronnie Osullivan.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Hazel. Good afternoon, everybody. The Rocket yesterday, everybody was wondering whether he was going to play okay, as he obviously threatened to pull out of this tournament.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
But the session he played yesterday was absolutely top draw. Dominic didn't play poorly. He made 3 breaks above 40, but never really saw the way he went. Rocket, Neil, looks like he's in with a chance this year.
Well, I think you needed to see what kind of mood he was in yesterday, because there's a difference between coming here fresh and being a little rusty. 1 or 2 people have already said that, and there was no signs of rustiness, was there? 93%, that's up with Osullivan, and is just about his best. We've seen him higher, but it was all the same a good session of snooker. And that's one part of his game that has struggled. 67% long success. Dominic on the same score, on the same percentage. Except that one has gone a little bit awry. Safety was good as well from Osullivan. When he's right, he's, well, the finished article, isn't he? Little smile from Dominic, misses by a long way. Probably think he's unlucky to stick this red, to be honest. It probably harder to stick than not to.
One.
Probably hold for the two reds to the right-hand side of the pack here, then he can get onto the black. Well, the way he's played that tells us that the one above the black may pot. Doesn't look like it from here. Obviously the middle one of the three will go, but he can't get onto the black from that.
Seven.
Just plays the game with so much ease. His cue actions perfect. It's just a shame that he doesn't get his mind right sometimes to want to play.
I've been told that yesterday Ronnie didn't miss a blue, pink or black from its spot in the whole session. And I guess the other balls he missed were the odd red here or there, but I mean, you shouldn't miss those, but you know, everyone does. People used to say to me, how can you miss a black off the spot all the time you practice? But, well, it just goes wrong sometimes.
But I must admit, that's a bit of a stat, isn't it? Regardless of whether you win a session 9-0, you'd think you'd miss at least one blue, pink or black during the session. So that's a great stat.
17.
He's playing now to get onto the black, and he may play high and go into them, even though he's got a loose red.
18.
He's going to have a little bit of work to do after the next red, because pack are not good.
Well, he's obviously got a plan to go in after this.
25.
Interesting to see which way he decides, direct or off the cushion. Direct it'll
26.
be, as Willie said. Got to be a little careful here because the angle of the pack could slide up the table if he's not careful. But that was a lovely shot, I thought. I think the key, Willie, was the fact that the cue ball has stayed in the middle of the table, hasn't it?
The beauty of that, I mean, a lot of players play that wrong, really, because they try and screw in the pack, and that's when you've got every chance of the white disappearing. Ronnie plays a stun shot into the pack, which is why the reason the white stops, and as you can clearly see there, brought two reds over both middles and developed this into a frame-winning chance
34.
Now. It's a very classy shot.
Quite get on this red as he would like.
41.
So there's a gap in between the brown and yellow to come back up for the blue. Or he's decided just to roll it in. He may lose the white a little bit here.
42.
Judged it well. Big target off one cushion. When things are going good, it makes it look very, very simple. What a beautiful shot that was.
Well,
this is where Ronnie is just such a great player in that he's turned something that was promising half chance into this. And well, the beauty of Osullivan is that everyone knows that he's hardly won a match all season. It's not always for the reasons that his game has gone, because
53.
We know that he is still as good as ever. We see him play like this and all the class is still there.
Yeah, maybe there could be a little bit of pressure off Ronnie, as most people have written him off to win this year's World Championship. I mean, before the championship started, he was 8-1 to win the championship. Well, Ronnie's been, I think the biggest price he's ever been in the last 10 years is about 3-1, so it's a massive price.
Yeah, and I think 61. Already that price has completely collapsed, in that the fact remains, the worry was whether he was either going to turn up or perform to any level. And as I say, the game is still there. It's completely still there. So that price 68. Won't be around at the moment with the sponsors Betfred. A few bookmakers, I'm sure, will be quaking in their boots if Ronnie starts to play 69. Again, having laid those sort of prices.
Frame obviously over now, so you can concentrate on making another century. Made a break of 113, as Hazel mentioned, in going 6-2 in front, and of course that was a possible maximum effort.
77.
Can't, obviously, because he's potted so many low colours, beat the highest break of the tournament so far, which is a 137.
84.
We've had 11 already. Century breaks, that is. Could be the 12th. He's got a little dinky shot here to play to continue the break. No problem whatsoever.
85.
Dinky shot. It's just a little fiddly little shot, wasn't it? You know what I meant, Willie.
Another shot timed to perfection.
92.
Gives the cue ball every chance to take the side there, and
93.
hitting it at that speed.
Well, he got a kick on that shot. I think you heard Ronnie just gasp or something when he hit it. It didn't stop him.
101.
I think that was Ronnie's little audible sound that he made. Surprised by that. Tell you what, he started this session well, hasn't he? Okay, 7-2 up and going well, but look at this. This is marvellous snooker.
106.
Yes, everybody else would have played for the yellow in its own pocket. He decided to play an exhibition
108.
shot and swing it round to play it into the green pocket.
Well, that was, somehow he bent that around the back of the brown.
115.
Well, there has been lots of geniuses in all sorts of sports, but there's not too many have been better than this guy when he's in full flow. Apparently he knew where the white was going. Well, not a complete clearance, but it was a break played, absolutely superb. Dominic a little unlucky to have left the first red for that break, but Ronnie Osullivan made a magnificent break of 115 and goes further clear at 8-2.
So not much chance there for Dominic, and the break that Ronnie made, he went into the pack at one point, and it was the kind of shot, Willie, that could have gone wrong. The amount of times you see a player just slide off of this and up the table.
Well, let's just have a little look at the pack here, first of all. Now, the problem is we're just going to swing it round and show you where you hit the cue ball, just below centre. Now, if we can go back to have a look at the pack, so you're not playing it as a screw shot. Now, as the pack is situated like that, if you play a screw shot, the white pushes through further before it takes. And if he does that, he's got every chance of losing the white, as you mentioned in commentary, up in the baulk end. But we'll let it run now. Just watch the way he plays this, Neil. It just stuns into the pack, which, of course, holds the white.
And the other thing is he didn't play it very firmly, because that's another way the cue ball would have gone down the table. It was sort of medium pace. Only knocked 2 or 3 reds out. It's just a lovely shot, though, wasn't it?
I mean, funny enough, of the top 20-odd players in the world, there's only about 6 or 7 players that play that shot that way. A lot of players play the screw shot, and they should have a look at that.
Well, look at this. He's up to 94% on his pot success, so that is as high a standard, I think, as we've seen in the first round, which is not complete yet, of course. Dominic's 89%. He's not played that badly, but he's had few chances.
Thank you. Frame 11. Dominic Dale to break.
I think Dominic's a really good player, but I also think it was a pretty good draw for Osullivan, you know, in that he's never actually lost to Dominic before. So if ever there was anyone that was going to get Ronnie back into his game, it's someone that he likes playing. And as I say, that's not anything against Dominic, who we know has won 2 ranking tournaments, but clearly Ronnie enjoys playing him.
There's been a lot of talk about Osullivan, whether he can continue his form, and there's the pulse question for you today. Can Osullivan maintain his form over the next 2 weeks? If you go onto the BBC website, vote on bbcsnooker.co.uk and click on pulse and tell us what you think. Can he maintain his form over the next 2 weeks to obviously go on to possibly win the championship?
Dominic will be disappointed with that, because he missed one by a long way in that pocket in the first frame, but that was played slower from a shorter range, and that was like a wide in cricket, that one. Well, he thought about playing it left-handed, which he can reach it that way.
What an asset this, isn't it? I mean, with the rest, this was a really tough shot. And obviously a tough shot left-handed as well, but it's made to look a lot easier when you can... but he's still got away with it. Nothing easy there for Dominic. He can consider himself a little bit unlucky not to have got on one. Obviously, we get lots of sporting personalities come to the Crucible. We've had a few here already. Lenny Henry's been here. And there's Keith Della, good friend of mine. Play a lot of golf together, Keith and I, on the celebrity circuit, and he now manages Adrian Lewis, and it's nice to see Keith here. Big snooker fan, and obviously won the World Championship in 1983. Remember at that time, Neil, I think he was drinking milk, wasn't he, when he won the World Championship? Drinks a few pints now, Keith, don't you?
Well, he played some good long shots yesterday, did Ronnie Osullivan, and he's another one. This is a real test for his cueing. 60%. Some of those were quite difficult ones that he knocked in, so it's not a bad percentage. This is also going to tell us exactly how he feels. He didn't hit it that badly, I have to say that. It's quite close.
It's amazing, isn't it? When you're 8-2 behind, you need a chance. I mean, Ronnie's missed three pots, and every time he's got away with every one of them. And of course, when you're 8-2 behind, as Dominic is, you just need something easy to get your cue going. We haven't had that yet.
I'm sure Dominic's still thinking about missing those 2 long reds by quite a large margin, and they do stick in your mind when you're not hitting those properly. I think what it is, it just makes you think about things. This was in the first frame. Ronnie made 100 break off it. This was even easier, and he missed it by even further. That really was a bad shot, that last one, and it really makes you think, what on earth am I doing wrong?
Another attempt at a long pot from Ronnie. Know straight away he's going to be going for a possible maximum. That's only the first red. He very rarely gives up a chance when the reds are all at this end of the table and not trying to play for a maximum. Be interesting to see what happens in the next 3 or 4 shots. Oh, I didn't hit that well. He played a forcing little stun.
8.
Semi-screw shot there where he wanted to get on the 2 reds in the middle. He had to play it that way to miss the kiss on the red that's nearest his hand. Okay, widened the angle nicely, but unfortunately overhit it.
Well, he's got an easy safety shot, but he's interested in a red to the right middle. I think he's now decided again, he's looking at where he could place the cue ball, and behind the green he'd like. perhaps the middle's awkward. No guarantees of being on a colour, low percentage maybe with the pot itself, even for Ronnie. He's now looking at it again. Two minds here.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 8.
Nice to see that, though, isn't it? Giving his opponent plenty of respect, even though he's 8-2 in front. Give a lot of concentration onto that safety. Dominic's looking at the red just next to the pink, whether it pots in the left-hand corner. If it does, he's got a chance of getting the cue ball back into baulk as well. Well, it obviously didn't go direct. A little bit fortunate, but in fairness, you can't begrudge him a little bit of good form.
Well, why is he not playing the green here? I don't get this.
Well, that's the strangest choice of shot I've ever seen in my life.
1.
How can he not play the green?
Did he see it? I mean, surely the green is... He's going to get it 99 times out of 100.
I can only presume he didn't glance at it, probably thought the green was still on its spot or something.
Foul, a miss. Dominic Dale, 4.
I think that's slightly bizarre what we saw there. Now, that is a penalty kick green up for the Reds. What on earth is he doing playing the yellow? I don't get that one.
As we said, I can only presume he didn't know it was there. Be interesting to see what the pulse answer is, because we asked you a few moments ago whether you think Ronnie can maintain this form for 2 weeks of the World Championship. Probably go on. And over 700 people actually responded to the question, and amazingly enough, 70% of you think yes, 30% think no.
It's an interesting question, because Ronnie at the moment is all over Dominic Dale in this match, which is fine, but he's going to have a bad session here or there. Every champion does. And how's he going to react to that? Maybe if Sean Murphy starts playing well against him, is he going to respond? Is he going to get fed up? Who knows? He's won it 3 times before, so we know full well that he can continue in this vein.
Try number 3, and in the end, a good hit. Target will be very, very thin, and try and get in behind the green if you can here. Well, he's playing 2 cushions and in behind the green, same thing. He didn't quite get into the cue ball, he needed to hit the cushion a little bit higher up, but still a good pace.
Well, we've mentioned it a couple of times, and I still don't understand why he didn't play that green. Willie agrees, and that Dominic is capable of getting that shot an awful lot. The green itself was a very easy pot. He's known affectionately as the Spaceman, isn't he? He knows his nickname. It's not like one of those nicknames you don't know about, but that was a very odd shot.
Made me laugh yesterday when they were talking about a story of Dominic when he was trying to get from Wales to York to play in a match, and went round the M25 twice, didn't know where to get off, and went home again.
Yeah, if you're trying to go around the M25 and wait for it to end, he'll wait forever.
Well, it's, if the black was freely available, you'd fancy him just knocking this in, but he's going to have to play it at pace and come up for blue or baulk colour. Now, if he plays it at pace, it'll be tough to not hit the red on the way back, that just to the right of the red he's playing. I mean, rolling it in, the angle's not there to kiss the red off the cushion, but if he plays it at pace, he'll do well to miss the cannon. How costly is that shot going to be?
I don't think he fancied it very much after the other two that stick in your mind. I mean, he has to play it, but I just felt that he didn't really want to be left it.
Is there a red on? I'm looking at the table now. Obviously everything looks in open play, but I think everything's covering one another. Yeah, they're all covered. Down the right hand side there's nothing on. So in fairness, it's not a straightforward safety shot from here. Maybe play a plant and screw back with a cue ball. That's what he played, but he made sure he got a good white, and he played the white perfectly.
It's a bit of a worry, this shot. Hit it much too thick. Didn't get the cue ball past the blue spot even. They caught this about half ball. It was much thinner than that. At least quarter ball was the target. He looks under pressure today. Knew he had to make an early breakthrough. He said that. Hasn't managed it.
One. Eight.
Well, it's almost like a practice situation, this, isn't it? You'd be surprised if Ronnie didn't make a sizable break from here and go on to lead 9-2. He did ideally like to get the match over, obviously, before the mid-session interval, which means he'd have to win this session 3-1 or 3-0. He'd like to have the rest of the day off.
16.
And he seems to
17.
be enjoying himself, which is half the battle. Certainly enjoying watching him. How much is he going to enjoy it when an opponent plays well against him and makes things difficult? It's going to be the bigger test, but he's played very well in this match. Especially since he got to the front and got a bit of confidence going.
24. $25.
Yes, we talked about Dominic's break building, and okay, his highest break is only 56, but he went through a spell from 2-0 behind to 2-2, where he made 47 and 56, and in fairness, perhaps should have gone 3-2 in front.
31.
And when he didn't, he made a 47 in frame 5 and missed when he was in the balls, and since then,
32.
Osullivan has just played fabulous snooker. In the last 4 frames of this match, his lowest break has been 73.
39.
And of course, that's the key in snooker, winning a frame at one visit. It takes very little, time and things, and there's no pressure on your game if you can continue to do that. When you need 2 and 3 chances, that's when it takes it out of you. I mean, he won't even feel like he's been in a match so far because he's been so fluent.
45.
Well, he can certainly win the frame with the
46.
balls in the middle of the table. Doesn't have to take any undue risks here.
$53.
75 on. Would be for Dominic, should he be clearing up, but he's going to have to find a way of getting to the table for that to be a possibility.
54.
Continues, and the points remaining go down by 8 when a red is down, so he's 67 on now. Should Ronnie missing, he's got a 53-point advantage. And how fluent is that? 16 seconds a shot, that's good. Seen players this week up to double that.
Yes, I was watching the Walden Rory McLeod game today, and Rory at one time was about 33 seconds. It just showed if the games are scrappy, obviously you've got to take more time. When they're open like this, look at that, 500 points different. 505 now the Blues gone in. When you're playing so fluently as Ronnie is, everything
59.
becomes very, very easy.
Yeah, but it isn't just that, is it? Because Ronnie's never been up to 30 odd seconds. He's just quick, isn't he? And he's instinctive, he always has been. So a red and a colour, any colour, playing in the middle, this one. Beautiful shot.
60.
He just got this way, really, hasn't he? Making things look so easy like that shot. That was a difficult shot to play.
And especially to hold the cue ball as well. A lot of players that have been playing that as a shot to nothing, but the fact that Ronnie knew he needed a colour, decided to play it as a shot for something and finished perfectly on the brown. So every chance now this match could finish before the interval. Dominic
64.
needs to win the remaining 2 frames to go into the first interval
65.
of this second session, but no worse than 9-4. But the way Ronnie's playing, it's hard to see him not having at least one chance in the next 2 frames.
72. 73.
It's quite amazing to think that Ronnie, in major tournaments, ranking tournaments, has not won one match this year. I think that's about to change pretty soon.
Very brave statement.
It's just amazing, isn't it?
80.
I mean, he hasn't played in all the tournaments, we know. He missed out on a couple. He lost a couple of times to Ryan Day, who's been in good form against him.
81.
He actually played to bring the red into play there, but he hit it so well. He got so much spin on it, he got top side of the black, and
88.
this is the possible 13th century in the tournament so far.
89.
Ronnie's second of the match. And in the last 5 frames, 96, 113, 73, 115 in this. And what's this white ball here? Oh, unlucky, it's just caught the brown. And that green
96.
still in the place of where Dominic refused to pot it.
Strange decision there, but
Ronnie Osullivan,
and
the frame.
very good. A break of 96, no century, but he's powering clear now, and he's 1 frame away from a place in the second round. 9-2.
A lot of great stats there throughout that information on Ronnie Osullivan, and it's amazing to think he hasn't won a match with those stats so far this year.
Well, I know. It's an interesting stats. I have to find out what that piece of music is, because that's brilliant, isn't it? Even I saw you nodding your head there, Willie. It's tremendous.
Thank you. Frame 12.
So Ronnie Osullivan will be
O'Sullivan's
hoping this is the last time he breaks off in this match. He leads 9-2. Would dearly love to have the rest of the day off and relax. It's a beautiful day outside. Probably go for a run knowing Ronnie Osullivan. This reminds me actually of when Ronnie was working with Ray Reardon, where he was enjoying playing his safety. You probably saw when he was breaking off there. In the last couple of years, he'd just walk away from the table, sit down by the time the whites landed. He actually stood at the table there to see where the white was going to finish. So that means he's taking, you know, whatever shot he's played, he's given it 100%, and that's what I like about Ronnie this time.
A good shot. Didn't play the pop there. It was not worth the risk. Played that exactly. And Dominic at long range, I think that's another thing that Ronnie has recognised. Keep him at long range because he's missed a few. Wouldn't be confident on any long pots right now. His player view can get into the pack if he wanted to play a safety shot, but the red on the left of the table as we look now is the one that interests him. But I think just playing up and down safety, and he's not going to off, is he? Well, I'll be honest, that I found that a little unlucky because
foul.
He thinks it
Ronnie
rolled off,
Osullivan,
but even
4.
then, if he was playing billiards, he'd be proud of that in off, trying to do it on purpose. I think he felt it drifted off. He's not in a position to tell. He played it with left-hand side and kind of drift the cue ball away from the red and then cut it in. And if anything, I think he got a little bit too much left-hand side on that. So he does miss.
Nice to see Dominic having a little bit of fun with the crowd there, saying I might pot this one.
1.
We appreciated there. Dominic's such a lovely lad. 9-2 behind, obviously plenty of to do, and still able to have a little bit of a laugh with the crowd. Even Ronnie's sitting in his chair smiling. He's a character, Dominic.
Six. 7.
Wants to be virtually straight on
12.
this red so he can play the run through for the black. So I think the red is on the black spot, so he can pot in the black to be able to move that red away. Now, if he's dead straight, he could have made sure he got the angle, but I don't think he's straight enough just to make sure he can get the angle. Just coming around to have a little look at that. There's the angle on the red. As you can see, it's set off to the right there. If he was dead straight, he could just roll through, pot the black, move the red, but he can't guarantee getting nicely on it from this position. He might decide to play for the pink here rather than the black.
$13.
Just can't get on a red properly. Same scenario there. If he was straight on it, very easy to get under the black. He's just rolled that little bit too far. That means he's now probably going to have to play off 2 cushions if this is not straight. Yeah, so just off straight, so almost going to have to play a stun run through here, so not to catch the jaws of the pocket. If he rolls it in plain ball, he may just catch
19.
the left-hand jaw with the cue ball, which will take the white back towards the cushion. Is he going to screw back for the blue because of that? Looks like it.
20.
Didn't get into it. Tough shot now. Blue in between bought colours. Very difficult.
So much better if he could have got top side of the blue. He's got hardly anything to do then, but as a consequence of finishing short all around the houses. Here it is. At least he's got an angle. If it's straight, he can do nothing with it. fact that he is the wrong side by quite a margin. Just got to avoid the bulk colours. But trouble is, there's no red that he can land in behind. Not easily, anyway. Oh dear.
Foul. Dominic Dale, 20.
It's one of
Ronnie
those
Osullivan,
sessions,
foul.
really. I mean, he had this detailed plan of coming through bulk out the other side, didn't even get past the yellow. He crunched into it full ball, even worse. The in off, try and do that one again as well. The years trying to do that shot again.
Not happy with this safety shot. Dominic's going to have to possibly take a chance here. There's plenty of room around the back of the black and reds to get up for blue or bought colour, but because it's quite an easy pot, or you know, there's a bit of mileage here in playing into the reds, but he's playing around the back of them, so he's going to have to really dig deep here. He could hit this thick. I think it'd have been a lot better off just playing the roll through there and guaranteed potting the red, and then rely on a little bit of good fortune whether he's going to be on the pink or black, Neil.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look at how many reds didn't move here, because almost everything did.
One.
Oh, could this be the beginning of the end for Dominic Dale's chance of winning this year's Betfred World Championship? And it may well be the way O'Sullivan's played in the last 5 frames: 96, 113, 73, 115, 96. He doesn't look like missing much.
No, and a few people had written him off, and I think they need to have a little rethink, because let's be honest, the standard of play of Ronnie has never really been in doubt. He's not a player on the demise, I don't think. No, he'll maybe tell you otherwise, but he looks as good as ever. It's just a question of getting his head right, isn't it?
16.
But the 8-1 that was offered by the sponsors is a thing of the past.
17.
I know that much. There'll certainly be bigger tests to follow. But really, it's just nice to see him playing snooker freely and seem to be enjoying it.
24.
It's the most interesting part of this, really.
Yeah, I totally agree, Neil, and especially the fact that he's enjoying his safety play, something he got completely fed up with when he was working with Reardon. That was part of his makeup. Reardon tried to get him, you know, wanting to enjoy every shot he played. He's only enjoying it 32. At the moment when he's making 70 and 80 breaks. Until today, he's been excited 33. About his safety play. Just had a text actually from a friend of mine, Nick Humphries, who's actually watching this in the south of France. That's the life, Neil, isn't it?
It certainly is, although 40. The weather's a bit like the south of France in Sheffield. It's not really snookering weather at the moment, is it?
41. $47.
He's almost there.
48.
Well, it has to be said that
54.
Dominic hasn't really played since he should have gone 3-2 in front. He's just not had a break of
55.
30 since then, and Dominic's a very, very good player. Spends his life now living in Vienna. But this has almost been vintage O'Sullivan. I know it's very, very
62.
early to say whether we think he can win the World Championship. Obviously, if he plays like this, he can, but Will he play like this in the future? 94% pot success rate. Anything anywhere near 90%, you'd be happy with over 19 frames. So to get 94 is very high.
69.
And it sets up a pretty spicy second round clash with Sean Murphy. They're both great players. There's definitely mutual respect, but they're very different in their personalities,
74.
aren't they?
Absolutely, it'd be a tough one to call that. Both Sullivan plays like this, so Sean Murphy's going to have to play at his best, but we all know he's capable of doing that. Just amazing, the last 6 frames. The lowest break has been 73. The lowest.
82.
Left-handed, right-handed with the rest. One leg, it doesn't matter, does it really, sometimes?
85. 89.
I'm sure this packed
94.
Crucible Theatre audience have loved this exhibition that Ronnie O'Sullivan's put up in this match. I'm sure he'll get a warm reception. It's nice to see him
100.
play like this. His second century of the game, his third century of the game. No pot black, but what a fabulous performance from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Dominic Dale can only offer his hand in congratulation. O'Sullivan looks to be playing very well again indeed. Can he win the championship? On that form, you bet he can. He goes through to the second round against Sean Murphy by winning 10 frames to 2.
And play resumes on this table at 7 o'clock. Matthew Stevens back at the Crucible takes on senior player Mark Allen. Then hope you can join us for that.